Welcome, all my Washington brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Washington football team fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Washington Football Report. We have a free agent signing we can finally get excited about. Ron said, man, y'all worried about Ronald Darby? Let me upgrade you. And so they go out and sign the number one corner on the free agent market. He was my number 12 free agent of my top 23 free agents, the number one corner on that list in William Jackson III. This is a guy that I loved coming out of Houston. I actually went back in the archives, dug up an old video, and a lot of these things still apply. I mean, his game hasn't changed all that much. He's just gotten better than when he was coming out of college, which is what you would expect from a guy going into his sixth year in the league. But that said, this is a guy that is tall. He's 6'1". He's long. He's rangy. He's got speed. These are all things that I talked about with William Jackson coming out of Houston. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave the link in case you're interested for the breakdown that I did of William Jackson back in the 2016 NFL draft when he was coming in to the league. So I'm going to leave the link down in the comment section of the video, and I'm going to pin it. Okay, I'm going to pin that comment. It's going to be the link to that video. Help yourself if you want a little bit more intel as to what to expect. And the beauty of it is, if you go back and watch that video, some of the negatives I had for him, he's cleaned up. He's gotten bigger. I thought he looked fast on tape, but he got run by a bit, okay, in some of those games. Well, he went out and ran a 4.37. Speed is not a problem. As a matter of fact, we played Cincinnati this past year. I thought he did a damn good job on Terry. Okay, Terry still got his, but he worked for it. It did not come easy. It did not come cheap against William Jackson III. So for all of us who were really upset about Ronald Darby getting away, I didn't want to create a hole. It was less about Darby and more about creating a hole and having another need to have to fill going into the draft. I didn't think they would be able to pull this off. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, which is why I wanted Ronald Darby back, because I'm a big contingency plan guy. I looked at Ron and company and said, they're frugal, they're cheap, they don't want to spend. That's the impression I get from them. And it may be the smart thing to do. They right now may be doing the right thing by not going out and signing a wide receiver right now. They may be able to get a guy for a much lower rate than we thought possible going into this process. So they may know some things that we don't know, but I didn't think they would be able to pull off William Jackson III, which is why I didn't even have him as a guy that I would go after, because I didn't think they'd be able to get him for this price. I thought he was going to cost more like $16, $17 million. Now, again, reduced cap, things kind of changed. But, I mean, I saw the money flying around for guys like Trey Waynes last year, and I'm like, there's no way we're getting William Jackson for that price. We got him for essentially the same exact price. The Bengals, they're stupid. They paid Trey Waynes the same amount of money that we're paying William Jackson, and he's 10 times better than Trey Waynes, okay? So they paid Trey Waynes the money that they should have been paying to William Jackson III. Instead, we're getting to reap the benefits of their misstep. I wouldn't have it any other way. We've upgraded the position. He's better than Ronald Darby. The only thing that's different is he is older than Ronald Darby. I remember when I was looking this up, there was a discrepancy. And you know you can't go to Wikipedia for everything. So at one point on the Wikipedia page, he's 27. On another page, on another part of the page, he's 28. So there was this discrepancy. He's 28 years old. Okay, so he'll be 29 in October, so he's not as young as you would like him to be, but that's nor here nor there. It's a 3-year deal. I think he's going to be in the prime of his career throughout this deal. By the time we get to the end of it, we may be saying something else, but as of right now, I feel damn good about this signing, and so should you. You're getting a fast, long, rangy corner that's aggressive, that can play absolutely airtight man-to-man coverage, and that's what you want with the defense that we have, and especially the defensive line that we have. You want guys that are going to be right there and be able to take advantage. Now, he's not a playmaker, neither was Ronald Darby, so it's not like you're getting a massive upgrade in that department. He does have ball skills. If he can find the football and be in the area, jump something, he can make some plays. But that was one of the issues in college, is that he didn't time his jumps well. He was a guy that was susceptible to double moves because he was so aggressive. I think he's cleaned a lot of those things up, but he's still not a big playmaking type of cornerback, which is why maybe the Cincinnati Bengals wanted to move on. That's not a reason for me to move on. The job of a corner is to stop the receiver from catching the football. You'd like him to pick some passes off in the process of doing that. But at the end of the day, if you just do your job, which is what Ronald Darby, he didn't have a single pick last year, but he had a bunch of knockaways and deflections and pass breakups. As long as you do your job on the back end and the other guy's not catching the football, I'll take it. William Jackson is going to come in here and do that. He's been a guy that's been extremely durable throughout his career, hasn't missed a ton of games. I think in 5 years, he's missed, I think, a total of 4 or 5 games. So we're not talking about a guy that's dealt with a ton of injuries. So that's something else that he has over Ronald Darby throughout his career as well. A little bit more pricey than Darby, but that's fine because he's a better football player than Ronald Darby when it's all said and done. So I'm excited about this signing to get the number one corner on the free agent market for money that amounts to quality money, but not overpay. It's not a gross overpay or anything close to that. You got to feel good about this signing. This is a tremendous job by Ron Rivera and company getting this done. If in fact this deal turns out to be 3 years, $42 million, which is $14 million per year with 26 of it guaranteed. If that is in fact the case, when he signs his name on the dotted line, you got to feel like this is a massive win for the Washington football team. We're hoping the first of many massive wins in free agency to help bolster this roster. If you ask me, you want to get better every time you sign a free agent like this, a big name free agent. You want to get better. And if you're subbing out 1 for 1, you want to get better. Well, we just did that here. The next step for me is wide receiver. It has to be wide receiver. We keep hearing about linebackers. To hell with the linebacker position. We can fix that in the draft. Let's take care of wide receiver. I think tomorrow's going to be a big day for that because we still have a lot of big names left on the free agent market at the receiver position. Kenny Golladay, Will Fuller the fifth. You still got Juju Smith-Schuster. You still got Curtis Samuel, among others. Okay, there are plenty of other names out there that are left to be unsigned. So I think you're going to start to see some of those dominoes fall. You're going to see some names start to come off that free agency list. And I think Washington is going to have their name attached to one of those receivers when it's all said and done. I feel really good about that, whether it's Curtis Samuel at this point or Will Fuller. Those are the only two I'm really interested in. Honestly, Kenny Golladay, if the price is right, obviously I'm interested in him. I don't want Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not a massive Juju Smith-Schuster fan. Wasn't one coming out of USC. That hasn't changed for me now that he's been in the league. He's okay, but he's not real. I'd love to get my hands on Will Fuller the fifth. At this point, I'm not a Curtis Samuel fan, but I do know we need speed. I know he would add that to the team. And so I would love to see them get somebody to add to the mix. Obviously, Curtis Samuel, not my first choice, but, it's better than nothing at this point. So we'll see what happens. This is a great step in the right direction. I know a lot of you were down on Ron yesterday and earlier today when nothing was happening. And I told you, I wasn't disappointed with free agency. I would classify this as slow. But remember, it was slow last year. We weren't moving at a high rate of speed last year with these signings, and they weren't of high quality for a lot of us. There was a lot of quantity involved, not a lot of quality. At the time, it proved to be a lot of quality with the likes of J.D. McKissick and Logan Thomas and Cornelius Lucas and guys like that really contributed to this football team, and Ronald Darby. So we'll see what happens. Just remain patient. I've been preaching patience, although at times it can be tough. I'm not going to lie to you. When I watched John Ross get a 1-year, $2.5 million deal, and I'm saying, why couldn't that have been us? And it happens in the division, that's a little tough to stomach. When I see Hunter Henry get a $12.5 million deal on a 3-year deal, I'm saying, why couldn't that have been us? But patience is a virtue. Ron has exhibited patience in the past, and it's worked out. So he gets the benefit of the doubt from me. I'm excited about this move, and I think it's the first of a few more. I don't think it's going to be a bunch more, but a few more to come that we're going to be excited about as Washington football team fans. With that said, I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington football team once again. If you haven't already done so, please make sure that you subscribe to the Louie T Network. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And also hit the like button to show your support for the Louie T Network. That said, also remember, I'm going to pin the link to the William Jackson III breakdown from 2016 when he was entering the draft out of the University of Houston. If you're interested, take a look at that video, because a lot of those things still ring true on the positive sides, and he's cleaned up a lot of the things that I thought were once negatives heading into the league. And yes, go ahead, laugh it up. Okay, it's 2016. I was a young guy up in the game trying to come up. It's not pretty. I'm not proud of it, but it's still great content, as it's always been. Not high quality aesthetics, but I'm still proud of the product that I was putting out back in 2016. So in any event, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. Look forward to chopping it up with you tomorrow as more things happen. I expect this team to continue to be busy. And so they're not done. This is not the final free agency move they're going to make. So we'll continue to break down all things Washington football team, and we will be live on Thursday night breaking down all moves that have been made or not made at that point. But we will be live on Thursday night either way. With that said, I'm your man Louie T, signing off. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you next time.